New program is really making a difference for BIPOC children in Minnesota.
It makes me feel safe.
It helps me with my anxiety.
At the core of it, they really are the leaders of this program.
It's okay to be shy, it's okay to be nervous, it's okay to be scared.
We get to have our own pace limit. We get to say what that limit is. They don't choose it for us.
You innately are growing alongside them in this space.
Having a front row seat to their experience places you in a position to really help them to navigate those traumatic events.
We are talking today about the CREW Urban Youth Equestrian Program.
You're good.
What is your favorite thing to do here?
Probably just hanging out with the horses and getting to know them better.
Like the pose, sometimes you do those, and that's probably my favorite thing.
You pretty much learn how to bond with the horse.
Actually start going from the ground up, which I really like that.
Kanesha, I'm going to start with you here. You kind of had this idea to try to build some sort of connection and help kids that were navigating some of the challenges that came with the pandemic.
Yes, so just for context, Jenny was on one side of the river in St. Paul thinking of a program herself. We were on the other end actually dealing with younger children who were in the inner city, right there in the space of all the activity going on surrounding George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, the riots, all of those things. And so I posted like, hey ladies, put all your garden stuff up there. I want to see some good creations. And Jenny, who is a longtime family friend of ours, started a garden. And she's like, I got greens. We reconnected. We learned that she had horses. When we came together, she laid out what she had thought of, and we added our 2 cents, and then we came up with the CREW Urban Youth Equestrians, and we basically hit the ground running.
And Jenny, I want to come to you next. What was it about horses that you thought would be a great way to provide connection at a time when kids were really needing that?
For me personally, I had a horse when I was a teenager, and I was processing and experiencing quite a bit of trauma in my own life. And having my horse and being able to go out to the barn and ride and work with my horse was really, I would say it saved my life. Last year, just working with the rescue horse that I was working with and also doing my own emotional trauma work, it became clear that there was so many parallels between what this rescue horse who had a lot of trauma and myself, what we both needed, learning how to be present, learning how to recognize and acknowledge my emotions. As I saw him blossom and I saw him develop the trust, I was like, I really want to share this. And I want to share this with kids who have been systemically shut out of working with horses. All of the events in 2019 and 2020, George Floyd being murdered, the fallout from that, the pandemic, the isolation that our kids are facing, my own included. I was like, there's no more excuses. You gotta go for it. And the first 2 women I thought of were Kanesha and Chantel to join on this journey because they are 2 absolutely incredible women.
CREW stands for Community Relationships, Empowerment, and Well-Being. Chantel, can you talk a little bit about those tenets and why they are so key as the underlying message and theme for the work that you all are doing?
For me, those tenets represent everything that we are and everything that is important to our babies, supporting our babies and our communities. The atmosphere at the barn, it really teaches you a lot about yourself, right? And then having Jenny alongside you, having Kanesha alongside you, having the families of our babies alongside you, just understanding that there are others who may be feeling or enduring the same things or similar things that you are, right, establishes a sense of community and support. Being a part of the children's lives, just having a front row seat to their experience places you in a position to really help them to navigate those traumatic events. And so we do that by allowing them to lead and guide us through their day. And that essentially is us empowering them to say, hey, you have a voice. This is the space where you get to use it. It's all about you and what you want to do.
What has that meant to you to be a part of that journey for them?
I'm sitting over here fighting back tears, to be honest. That question is powerful, and the answer is just as powerful. To see a child basically come out of a cocoon, and to see them actually display so much trust and confidence in you when you don't know, how you're landing with them necessarily, or, if you're actually fulfilling a need that they have, is very humbling, is very insightful. It is an insurmountable amount of joy that comes with being able to serve them and to serve alongside them. The emotions that we all have, it is really intense at times, and it's really life-changing. For them, for us as adults, we don't put ourselves on some special pedestal because we are older or have different experiences. We are on the same playing field as they are, and we make sure to create a space that they know that we're all in this together, and that we can learn from you just like you can learn from us. And so, yeah, I'm deeply humbled at the opportunity to just serve these children, because they are indeed special. They are so unique and so powerful. And my thing with them is, you got it in you, and we're gonna do what it takes to get it out. So come on, let's get on this journey, and let's have fun doing it. Let's have fun exploring and falling down and getting up and crying and all that comes with it.
Jenny, I remember one story that just sort of stuck with me. There was one young lady who had been very sort of anxious and always kind of staying under her mother. And as she built her relationship and connection with the horses, she was kind of building that level of comfort right along with that process, to where she felt a little bit safer being away from mom.
She is so incredible. She's really shy around new people. When they came out for their tour, she was, like right next to her mom the whole time and didn't say too much. And we're like, that's okay, because what we do, and a huge part of our program is, meeting our kids where they're at and validating whatever it is they're feeling at that moment. We're here, and you let us know when you're ready to take a step. Feeling and knowing that we see her and value all of who she is and where she's at and all that she's feeling in those moments. It was like this huge opening of space for her, where she has the most incredible instincts and the most incredible emotional connections to the horses. In particular, our horse Samir, who's the one who's experienced a lot of trauma, who came from a rescue. He needs a lot of patience. He needs to feel safe. And this kiddo, she just takes her time. She's patient. She finds her breath when she's feeling frustrated or not too sure about herself. And all our role is as the grown-ups in when she's here and she's working with the horses, our only role is to stand back and let her shine. And she's just, to see her confidence. Her mother has shared with us what a difference it makes at home, how much she looks forward to coming out here, and how much it impacts her in other areas of her life.
We want them to feel valued, loved, appreciated, and free to do, whatever their heart desires. It's their space.
All the horses and all the friends I made here, and the teachers.
We want them to feel safe. This is a non-judgmental space for them to just be exactly who they are.
For you, Kanesha, to know that you're a part of creating something that allows a child to maybe feel a little less alone, to feel a little more understood, to feel like they can find their way, what does that mean to you?
Everything. It means absolutely everything. My career background is in human services and in education, and so serving children has been most of my life. And I've been in and out of those traumatic scenarios where there's chaos, where there might be violence, where there might be lack. I've been in situations where there's a lot of love, but lack of resources, a lot of support, but not necessarily everything they need to thrive. So being a part of something that just offers a space of peace where a child can just show up as a child without all the pressure and the stress that may be commonplace in their everyday lives, a space where they can own and take initiative and responsibility the way they choose, that really does mean everything to me. It's like the each one teach one. If we can get one child and empower them and surround them with love and support, and they go home and in their communities or in their school or their classroom, they can also become a leader in that space because of what we've provided for them in our space. That means everything to me. It really does.
This is a blossoming field that you're opening the door for these kids to have access to it in a way that maybe some of them wouldn't have had that opportunity. They're learning about animals and careers and fields that they can pursue that maybe they had never even thought were available to them, just by introducing them to horses in the way that you are through a program like this one.
As we go further and deeper into this journey and start building relationships and community around our program and around our kids, the equine industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's not all just about horses. There's marketing, there's education, there's farming, that could be a veterinarian, there's clothing design and fashion. The industry is a culture within itself. And unfortunately, the equine industry has been systemically closed to families, communities of color due to systemic racism, the erasure of the culture and history. So many of our kids are so surprised to know and to learn about Bill Pickett, who was the first one to do bulldogging and rodeo events, who's a black cowboy. The role of indigenous communities and what horses mean to the indigenous culture. All of that has been erased or blocked from our kids, our families, our communities. And so right now, when the notion of an equestrian is someone who's white, and we're changing that notion and opening that door, being a part of opening that door to this multi-billion-dollar industry. At the same time we're developing this program, we're developing relationships nationally with other similar programs. What we're doing here in Minnesota is happening across the country, and we're a part of connecting that and building that. And the more we go along this journey, the more people we meet. Kids can start to learn more about agriculture as a whole, right? Like farming, there's a crisis in Black farmers right now. Black farmers have a crisis. Their land is being taken away. There's systemic discrimination in funding. So, I mean, what we're doing right now impacts our kids individually. It impacts on the broader social level too. And it's an incredible thing to do, to step into. And none of us, I don't think any of us had an idea of the depth and breadth of the impact we're starting to see and have.
Kanesha, if you could leave anyone with any parting remarks, what would you want them to take away from this program?
I would like for everyone watching and tuning in to know and understand that our children do deserve a chance, that they are worthy, and I always say this, they are worthy. They are worthy of love, they're worthy of resources, they're worthy of experiences to build a perspective or a worldview that expands outside of their community, that expands outside of their single home, but that's broad and wide. And I want people to know that the CREW is here for your children, that we have dedicated staff, dedicated allies, and we want to see them thrive. We want to see them there. We want them to have the experience, and we want to love on them. So bring them all, bring them one, bring them all, ages 7 to 17. But I really would like for people to understand that we are trying to embark on something that is so unique in our time. And right now we're the only one in our state. And we want you all to be a part of this. We want you all to be a part of this legacy that we're building here in Minnesota. Minnesota is a great state, and it has some amazing people doing amazing work. And we want our kids to be the front runners in that space.
Jenny, Chantel, Kanesha, I appreciate your time. Can you tell people where they can find the CREW Urban Youth Equestrians if they want to learn more information?
The website is www.thecreworbanYouthEquestrians.org.
So wonderful to get to share a space with you again to talk about the important work that you're doing through the CREW Urban Youth Equestrian Program. Thanks so much again for joining me on this episode of Let's Chat. I'll see you all next time. Take care.
Thank you, Shayla.
Thank you.